Good evening. Welcome to Markets Tomorrow. I'm Avan Dabas.
Hi there, I'm Ajay Sharma. Well, it was a wonderful expiry of the April's release where we added about 2% on closing. Let's get you the guests who will be joining us to transpire and also to really take the road forward from here on. Pashupati Advani from Nirmal Bang Securities, Ashwini Gujral, fund manager at ashwinigujral.com, and on the fundamentals, Manish Sonthalia, fund manager at Motilal Oswal, would be joining us on the show. But to say it that it was a boring series, not at all. We've added over 4% on the Nifty alone. It was the bank which added the most weight. So just look at this statistic of 1900 points on the bank Nifty added in last 15 trading sessions. That was the big bump up which came in the last half hour. Usually we do see this kind of adjustment related buying or selling in the last half hour of trade, mainly on the expiry. So that was the kind of increase we saw today. But today it was a churn. Realty was taking a backseat. Stocks like DLF and Unitech were taking a backseat, but banks follow-up buying was seen there. So you saw banks like Axis Bank, Karnataka, PNB, SBI, all of them saw very good follow-up buying. Autos were the stock, the sector which was outperforming in trade today. So Bajaj Auto, Maruti, the rally just doesn't stop there. That was seen some good action, and Tata Motors after some days has also started performing on the upside. You also saw turnover pick up in trade today. Surely it was the expiry, but today 4.2 lakh crore was almost the second highest turnover we've actually seen. Fresh longs definitely being added, and short positions were being covered. And in the new series, the start at least is saying that in the interest rate sensitives, a lot of long positions have been rolled over too. You also saw weakness continuing in the entire IT space. Fresh shorts in the next series being rolled over in stocks like Infosys, HCL Tech, TCS, Hexaware. All of them were seen trading extremely weak. From the defensive pack, we also saw HUL underperform today. At one point in time, almost giving up 20 rupees from the top on concerns on reports that the parent has not performed, and it's the emerging market slowdown which is impacting the parent earnings. Also, divergent performance in the oil and gas space. On the one hand, when Reliance was gaining almost 2%, it was ONGC which was weighing on the entire market, and on reports that the gas price hike, which has been in news, may get delayed, and Kelkar panel may actually start looking into that issue once again, and which may lead to some delay. So it was a net a very strong day. Advance decline was mostly favoring the advances. Now we have added so much weight, almost 4.5% in the April series. We'll have to see how it goes forward, because then a lot of macro cues would be giving direction to the market going forward. In the next series, the RBI meet, the EU meet is also lined up. In the meanwhile, how are the mid caps faring, Avan?
Well, basking in the limelight for the series, you'd have to say. So it was up by close to 3%, but for the day, it was a degree of underperformance that you saw for the mid-cap index. It was just up by about 0.5%, but it was the small-cap index which ended exceedingly flat. In terms of the bank Nifty, in fact, it's put on close to 12% this entire series, but technology as a basket was rather weak. For the day, auto as well as pharmaceutical stocks, they were your top sectoral gainers. So they were in the limelight on the upside, and you had the IT pack which continued to reel under pressure in today's session as well. In terms of a sector or a story which was in focus, it was clearly aviation all the way. On the back of the culmination of the Jet Etihad deal, a 24% stake for over 2,000 crore rupees. You had the aviation minister who gave his nod of approval, some managerial changes also in Jet Airways, and all of these stocks were flying high. You also had Citi, which upgraded Jet Airways to buy, removing the high risk and raising the target price to 766 from an earlier 545, saying that the cash infusion gives leeway to Jet in order to pay its debt. Results pouring in thick and fast. Just walk you through a few. Hindustan Zinc reacted positively to its numbers. Bottom line growth was up by 53% at 2,166 crores. You had the top line growth which was strong, and EBITDA margins coming in at 55%. Apart from that, United Phosphorus also delivered a good set of numbers. 278 crores, that's what they clocked in terms of the bottom line this time around. You had the net sales also which were up and at 2,773 crores. L&T Finance ended a bit flat, but not bad when it came to the quarter that they delivered. So you had the profits which were up by 21%, and you also had M&M Finance. Take a look at the reaction that it saw to its numbers. You had the profits which came in at 346 crores. Net interest income was also stable, as was the overall asset quality, and the street rewarded that one. Gujarat NRE Coke in focus as it is mulling the issue of securities of close to 550 crores on the 29th of April. So all in all, it was fairly decent for the broader markets.
All right, let's discuss the market forward. Ashwini, I'd like to come to you first. Given the way we have added weight, almost surprisingly, on the Nifty and Bank Nifty, how are you reading the expiry today of the April series, and how do you think one should position for trade going forward?
Well, so far the market remains in some kind of an uptrend, and it appears it's a fairly strong uptrend. So the best way to trade trending markets is using trailing stop losses. So broadly today's low of about 58.50 is a good trailing stop for all short-term positions. For all medium-term positions, maybe a bit deeper, 57.80 would be a decent stop. But so far there's no reason to get worried on the market. Today is supposed to be a volatile day, but even today we were able to close higher. That just shows that there's a lot of lack of participation in this rally, and each 50-point dip is so far getting bought into.
Manish, wanted your opinion on the markets, given that we have surpassed some psychological levels on the upside. There are a lot of macroeconomic indicators that the Indian markets are awaiting. What's your sense as to what's likely to be the next trigger and where we're headed?
I think the recent rally which we have seen over the last 1.5 weeks is on the back of exogenous factors in which crude prices corrected and gold prices corrected. So you had benefits on the current account deficit, which is now being seen in the form of a rally in the stock market. I think the reform agenda of the government is quite strong over the next few months, maybe a couple of months or 3 months down the line. And that will keep the markets propelling higher. On the near term, I think markets are betting on higher than consensus estimates of a rate cut on 3rd of May. So, while the market consensus may be 25 basis point, you could get surprised with a 50 basis point cut on, the repo. And added to that, you could be looking at a 25 basis cut in the CRR. So I think it is on the back.
Right. Pashupati, what about you? Looking at how the last financial year actually fared for the markets, how would you position yourself for FY14? Could we be staring at a much better scenario?
I don't know, because this time next year, according to me, if we'll be in the throes of just about to have an election, if we're talking about, March 14, April 14, people are talking about maybe having an earlier election. It doesn't look like it to me, but, these things could change. So therefore, we could be flat. However, as I said, the money flows are coming, and, this market gets driven by money flows, and there's just so much liquidity that's coming out of Japan, and it just has to land up here within 12 months. So whatever we are doing, the money is going to come into the markets. We're seeing it in a Jet Etihad deal where a huge premium has been paid for an asset. Well, nobody wanted to talk about Jet Airways at 300 rupees. They thought this airline is going to die, and today you're at 650, and people are saying, let's look at Jet Airways again with a fresh light. It's been painted, the valuation is coming out, and people are bringing money into India. And I think that's what we're looking at globally. And the more that gets printed overseas, the better it is for our market. So I actually feel that we'll probably go up, and maybe because of elections and uncertainty, maybe come back down again. But I think the immediate direction is up first.
Ashwini, what would be your call on the Bank Nifty? 1900 points in the matter of 15 days. That's no, mean feat. So what would be your view on how it's likely to come tomorrow?
Well, so far, it's been a strong index, and the rally has been vertical. So there's nothing to probably worry for people, who are already long, and they can just update their stop at about 12,500. But for people who want to enter afresh, you enter and the Bank Nifty has a normal 500-point correction. So your trade positioning goes all wrong. So, fresh entries need to wait for some sort of a correction, and corrections will come. We've just forgotten in the last 15 days that we had a massive decline, and now everybody wants to fall over each other to get in. Once we have a downswing towards 12,000, 12,200, those will be good levels to enter into the Bank Nifty again.
Right, Pashupati, from the fundamental side, what do you make of the strength in the Bank Nifty? Because the big argument is that the crude prices are cooling off, gold prices have come down, and hence a falling CAD will fix the macro. Is that the only reason why a lot of banking stocks have appreciated so sharply?
No, I think people feel that if you want to be in India, you need to be in high beta, and I think that banks are obviously the place to be if you feel that that is the case. Most houses are positive on banks. There will be some glitches. I'm guessing that there will be some backlash as to some of the things that were brought up about a month ago have not been put to bed. But I think that in time, the banking industry is the place to be, and whether it's the private banks or the government banks. That time will tell. I personally happen to like the private banks, but there's also a lot of case for smaller government banks which are likely to get either good valuations or partnerships or maybe even strategic sales.
Okay, we slip into a quick break right here on Markets Tomorrow. Big results lined up. We'll discuss that with our experts.
Welcome back. Still watching Markets Tomorrow right here on ET Now. Let's discuss some of the big index numbers would be declared tomorrow. Up till now, the big numbers have been much on the stronger side, talk of Axis or HDFC. But ICICI will be keenly watched out for because it has added around 200 rupees from the lows. Expectation of a 20% increase as far as net profit is concerned. Same is the case with Maruti, though the ET Now poll indicates at 710 crore as far as the net profit is concerned. The Whisper number is much larger, and that's why probably a continuation of a big rally in Maruti ahead of numbers. Hero Moto, about 16% is the kind of cut we are expecting this time around as far as this two-wheeler company is concerned. Nevertheless, the stock has been in focus, has been running. Manish, any of these stocks or earnings expected tomorrow, you have a view on from actually playing the stock?
No, I think the ICICI numbers are going to be in line, something like a 30% sort of a growth on a YY basis. I think valuations are quite comfortable, and the private sector banks in general are reporting good set of numbers. I think the rate cut will ensure that deposit rates fall faster than your lending rates, so there is a scope of expansion in margins, as we have seen in the case of let's say an Axis Bank numbers which came out, and even IndusInd Bank numbers which came out. I think on Hero MotoCorp, see, they have taken an absorption. They have absorbed actually 500 rupees on account of warranty expenses, and we think that they are wanting to drop even Splendor and Passion prices. So they are passing on the full benefit of raw material price decrease to consumers. So even though sequentially the profits are expected to be much better because of expansion in margins, they are going to pass on the entire benefit of raw material decrease to consumers. So it's again going to boil down to what sort of a volume growth is there, and how they can deal with market share vis-a-vis what Honda Japan is doing. So not too much of a trigger as far as Hero MotoCorp is concerned, but as far as ICICI Bank, I think I remain positive.
Let's talk about Idea Cellular. Numbers surpassing what the street was expecting, as well as the Whisper number, 308 crores. Net sales also at 6,027. How does one approach this stock come tomorrow, given that it ran up by 1.5%, Ashwini?
Well, Idea has gone into its numbers fairly strong, and given that now telecom is coming back with, RCOM rally happening last week. So, once we get past levels of about 123, 124, I think idea should head towards levels of 150. That's, assuming you don't get any kind of, adverse news flow. The stock has consolidated fairly well in this 100, 125 zone.
Right, but aviation stocks or airline stocks were the actual focus of the day. SpiceJet, Jet Airways, all of them rallying. Pashupati, what's your call on Jet Airways at this point in time?
Well, if Etihad is invested at an even higher price, so I guess, they feel that there is value in this. And I guess what will happen is that the traffic is going to increase to the Middle East, and Etihad has got a fabulous gateway. If you look at both the airlines as a combined entity, it looks extremely powerful, and it's going to give all the competition a lot of sort of grief. I mean, we have one flight a day of Etihad from Bombay to Abu Dhabi, for example, and 3 for Jet. Now we're supposed to have they've got an extra 36,000 seats to Etihad, to Abu Dhabi from India. So I think that's going to make a lot of difference to Etihad's balance sheet on that end. And I think that's going to be the interesting play as that plays out.
Pashupati, what would be your view on the energy sector given the way crude oil prices have panned out?
The fact that oil prices are lower definitely is good for our balance of payments. And, one of the biggest concerns that everyone has looking globally is the current account deficit of India. Again, we have to start manufacturing. CapEx cycle has not really started in earnest. So, and even if it starts, it's going to take 2-3 years for that to kick in. But the fact of the matter is that as oil prices go down, it's better for everyone in this country, including the government. So I think that, if we've got subdued commodities, that would be very good for us.
Time for a short break. On the other side, we'll discuss specific stock strategies from our guests and also stocks you should be keeping an eye on. Welcome back. Still watching Markets Tomorrow right here on ET Now. One stock you need to keep an eye on in tomorrow's trade would be ONGC, especially after the reports coming in that the Rangarajan panel recommendations on gas price to be linked to market rates could be rejected. In fact, the Kelkar committee would take a relook at the recommendations made by the oil ministry as well as Rangarajan panel, because a lot of ministries like power and fertilizers are objecting to the $8.50 gas price hike. Now, ONGC would have been a company which would be direct beneficiary of a higher gas price hike. Dealers believe that the stock could be reacting to it in coming days as the entire matter gets delayed. If you look at the 1 month chart, it has added quite a lot of weight on this, on hopes that announcement could be there in the offing. But today, of course, closed at the lowest point in day. Probably some fresh short positions were seen added in the last 30 minutes of trade.
Quite the contrary for a SpiceJet, in fact, and it was probably piggybacking on sentiment of Jet Airways on the back of that deal. Well, it did witness some delivery-based buying in that stock, and the Jet Etihad deal has also lifted hopes for a stake sale, although we did speak to the management also of SpiceJet, who said that as of now there are no talks, but something could potentially happen given that there are a lot of interested players in this one. You had the stock which soared a good 18% today, and the valuations still remain lower than that of Jet Airways. So this is one stock to keep on your radar come tomorrow.
Shifting focus to the IT sector then, Pashupati, IT has been one pocket where a lot of money managers have been hiding. For the quarter gone by, the only talk was go and buy IT stocks because of the US growth coming back on track. But if I map the commentary we have got from the TCS as well as Infosys management, there's a stark difference. What are your thoughts on IT? Within the IT basket, where would you have your leanings?
I think what you've suggested is even, say, between a TCS and an Infosys, TCS seems to be perceived as having got its act together a little better, and therefore you're seeing it in the stock price, versus Infosys, which has got slammed and come back down to the 2200 levels. See, it is tough because there is a slow growth in IT, but the fact of the matter is that IT is not going to stop growing. And we do have a cost arbitrage, and we continue to have a cost arbitrage. It's only that I think there are some artificial barriers in terms of these H-1B visas and some movement of people that's actually stopping the industry from sort of being full. But a lot of people feel that the rupee is going to go to 60, in which case IT should do well. And it is a core part of our index. It is a core part of a lot of people's portfolios. You don't actually see people worried about IT in that sense. And whether you're in top tier IT or second tier IT is a matter of what your risk scenario is. But there's money to be made in both.
Ashwini, what would be your top trades that some people should watch out for tomorrow?
Well, overall, remain on the long side. X side is a buy with a stop of 132, target of 146. United Phosphorus is a buy with a stop of 129, target of 141. And ACC is a buy with a stop of 1225, target of 1290.
Manish, what about you? What are the stocks you have on your radar, be it from the earnings which have been declared so far, or anything which is working as far as price action is concerned?
I think for the extreme short term, we are quite overweight on the interest rate sensitives. So it will be all about autos, banks, and whether you like it, some sort of real estate play. So we are focusing more on that side of things. So within the autos, our favorites are Maruti's, Tata Motors, and Hero MotoCorp. On banks, you can take your pick within PSU banks or private sector banks, depending on what you like. And a few players in the real estate space would also do some good to the portfolio. So that's how we are playing the short term currently.
Manish, the entire real estate space, a lot of small ones like Brigade or Nitish, have started moving as well. Though now DLFs and Unitex of the world are cooling. Anything you like in the mid-cap real estate basket?
Maybe a Godrej Properties does look good, or if you want to play through Godrej Industries, that looks good, or a Shobha looks good. These are all mid-cap plays. I mean, their market caps are hardly 4,000 crores or there, but like Shobha is maybe close to around 3.5 to 4,000 crores, or a Godrej, which is even 4,500 odd crores. So, you see, corporate governance is one issue you have to deal with mid-cap, real estate plays, and some of the names don't seem to exude too much of confidence. So, you want to keep that aspect into mind when you wanted to actually dabble with some mid-cap names in the real estate space. So, I think once we are confident about our Shobha, Godrej, we'll stick with those names.
Okay, with that we wrap it up right here on Markets Tomorrow. Pashupati, Manish as well as Ashwini, thanks very much for taking time out and joining in. But that brings us to an end of this edition. Thanks so much for watching.